Alright, so Murphy's Committee, or cows and rhinos. Now, hello. This is for people who still have dreams. Now, have you been pursuing your dreams or goals or aspirations for a while now? And have you ever came out empty-handed? Now, I'd like to congratulate you for not giving up, because many people do give up. We all grew up with big dreams, but most of us had our dreams beaten out of us through the hardships of life. Now, the easiest thing is to give up. Anybody can give up on their dreams, anybody can give up on their goals, on their aspirations, on their business ideas. The hardest thing is to stay at it, to keep at it, and to progress further. Now, Murphy's Committee is a strange force that wants to stop you from achieving the results that you want to achieve. Now, there are 5 members in Murphy's Committee that has set up an operation in the universe that will test the person's commitment. We call them the interferers of magic. Now, Murphy's Law says that whatever could possibly go wrong probably will go wrong. So, rhinoceros success. Now, some people are like cows and some people are like rhinos. Anything that you want to accomplish in life that is of any significance can be found on the other side of the jungle. Now, the jungle is not the safest place in the world. And in order to survive the dangers of the jungle, you have to be in a peak mental and physical condition. So you must have a thick skin, a strong heart, and a charging spirit, which are all features of a rhinoceros. Now, rhinos have a 2-3 inches thick skin, so the bugs, scuffs, and occasional arrows won't kill them. It bounces right off them, and they keep charging through the jungle. They are rarely bothered by other creatures in the jungle and rarely bother other creatures. They are peaceful creatures who are very focused on what they want. However, if you get in their way, watch out. Now, I believe that we are all born with a rhino spirit. You see, the problem is that most of us are then later trained to be cows. Now, cows are passive creatures who graze through the pastures, accepting whatever comes their way. Now, cows don't believe that they can take control of their life and create their destiny. They are volunteer victims of the system. They voluntarily give up their freedom for mediocre existence. Now, if you give a cow a regular income, some medical benefits, a couple of weeks per year paid vacation, throw in a life insurance policy, and promise them a pension that will pay them 30% of what wasn't enough in the first place, and a cow would give you their life for it. Now, cows try to live a risk-free existence in the pastures. If it's easy, they want it. If it's comfortable, they will take it. If it's normal and traditional, they are open to it. And if all the other cows are doing it, then it must be the right thing to do. They have been conveniently programmed to believe that they don't have a choice of how their life turns out. They just do whatever the system tells them to do in order to be successful. So they'll say, oh, it's just the way things are, it's just life, life is unfair, etc., etc. Now, for example, they are told to go to school, get a good education, that way they can get a good job, J-O-B, just over broke, with a big and stable company. And while at this job, all they have to do is work hard, be loyal and industrious, and in 20-30 years, they will find themselves in upper management position with stock options. And by the time they retire, they are told that they will be set for life, have great pension and social security. Oh, security, they love that word. Now, what usually happens is this. They get up in the morning to fight traffic while they go to work. Then they work all day long while constantly watching the clock because they hate being there. Then they fight the traffic on the way home from work. They eat their little dinner. They watch some TV. They take a shower, then go to bed so they can repeat the same thing over again the next day. They spend the whole week looking forward to the 2 days they have off. and then they complain because they got more month left at the end of the money. Now, family vacations usually consist of driving to the nearest campsite, or if they happen to fly to another city, they stay in a cheap hotel and justify it by saying that we're not going to spend that much time here anyway. You know, the problem is that everything the cows do consists of tight budget. And I'm sure a lot of you can relate to that. Now, I can be honest about it, and I can relate to that as well, because I went on holidays and we stayed at a cheap hotel, and we said, look, we're not going to spend any time here. We're going to spend the days on the beach and traveling around anyway, so why should we pay? But the fact is that we only do that, we only justify that because we can't do it the other way around. Now, what if you could stay at 7-star hotel? What if you could stay at the hotel with black toilet paper and all the perks that you get in a fantastic hotel? Even if you just go there to sleep, wouldn't it be nice? Absolutely. But most of us didn't have the funds, the money to do that in the first place. So we try and justify that. Now, rhinos would never settle for that. So what cows constantly worry about is not being able to pay the rent for occupying this space on the cow pastures. And even young rhinos in training occasionally might feel the same way, but they keep charging and keep creating. Now, you see, cows don't believe in creation. They believe in competition. They are constantly looking at the other cows to see if their grass is greener. Well, by the time they reach the point when they're supposed to retire, and the system tells them right around the 65 years of age, they usually say something like this: moo, right? They get a feeling that like they've been fooled. But they still can't figure out what happened. They think that all of the things they wanted to do but never get the chance to do. And they wonder what their life would have been like if only they had done this or that. By this time they realize that they are headed for the slaughterhouse. Cows live the most depressing life that exists on our planet. And what is even more depressing is the fact that they make up the majority of our population. That's at least 90% of our population. And that is a problem. Now, rhinos, on the other hand, believe in excitement and adventure. They thrive on the dynamic energy and challenges that exist only in the jungle. They could not handle the passivity and the mediocrity of cow pastures. There's nothing there but grass and manure. Now, rhinos realize that on the other side of the jungle is the cow pastures, and on the other side of the jungle is the land of paradise. And all of their high aspirations, their goals, their desires are found on the other side of the land of the paradise exists. Now, rhinos realize that there is a danger in the jungle, and they know that reaching the other side would not be easy. But easy is not an option for them. Now, because if success was easy, guess what? It wouldn't be success. It would be mediocrity. So you see, it's easy to be broke, poor, miserable, unhappy, and overweight. It's easy to be bored and frustrated. It's easy to give up your freedom. It's easy to sit in the cow pastures and watch TV every day and wonder why are you not getting anywhere. It's easy to give up on your dreams, goals, and aspirations. It's easy to be sitting and listening to this training without getting up and taking the action to change the things. It's easy just to sit passively and watch things happen. Now, rhinos don't just sit back and watch things happen. They make things happen. They don't wait for the circumstances they want. They create the circumstances they want. They don't focus on all the problems in their life. They focus on the solutions. Rhinos take action, massive action in fact, towards the attainment of their goals. Rhinos realize the power of their minds, and they learn and utilize the tools and strategies that will help them to get what they want out of life. And most importantly, they understand that even though taking the advantage of the tools and strategies that exist today is a great and powerful, it is even more powerful to get off their butts and take the action. So with thought, what you want is brought to you, and with action, it is received. Now this is very, very powerful. With thought, what you want is brought to you, and with action, it is received. So thinking is really, really good. Having big dreams, having big goals is fantastic, but that's only halfway there. You need to take action in order to receive it. So this entire concept of rhinos, cows in the jungle is just a way of letting you know that even though you apply these principles and even though you apply the concepts and the strategies and so forth, it's not going to be a cakewalk to your dreams. If this was the case, then everyone would be allowed to enter the jungle. However, out of 100% of our population, only 10% will enter the jungle. And out of those 10% that enter the jungle, only 30% of them will make it across to the land of paradise. Now the other 70% either return to the cow pastures or die in the jungle. Therefore, only 3% of our population ever make it to the other side of the jungle. The other 97% end up either dead or dead broke. They end up depending on their friends, family, or government to maintain the source of income. Now, if so far you've been bothered by this discussion of cows and rhinos, it means one of the two things. Number one, you're currently a rhino in training who is somehow confused and wandering around the cow pastures. Deep down inside you know you don't belong to the pastures, but you have forgotten where the jungle entrance is. Number two, you have been systematically inbred and trained and conditioned as a cow, and you're wondering why you're even listening to this training. You may believe that all this talk about cows, rhinos, and the jungle is the silliest thing you've ever heard. And by the way, the Wheel of Fortune or some other program is on right now, and you should be watching it. Well, if you're a rhino in the training, lost in the cow pastures, don't worry, because you're in the right track to get back into the jungle. Now, if you feel that you've been conditioned as a cow, don't feel too bad, because at least you're still listening, so that's a good sign, right? It means your rhino spirit is being released, and the more you listen to this training, and the more you listen to other trainings and read books and go to seminars, the more of your power is going to be released. The key point to remember is that everyone is born with the spirit of a rhino, but most of us are trained to be cows. I say this because we all came here with an incredible drive. After all, we all won our first race. Let me explain. You see, we had to outswim millions of other sperm in order to be the first to get to and fertilize the egg. It was an uphill swim, and we made it first. So all of us are winners already. We all have the winning spirit and the winning drive. All we need to do is wake it up. So, as far as I'm concerned, everyone on this planet has a rhino spirit deep down inside them and is a winner. Every one of you listening to this webinar right now, you have a rhino spirit inside of you. It's just that some of us are more brainwashed than others. We're brainwashed to believe that we can't achieve. We can't have all that we really want, that we have to be mediocre, and that the best way to deal with our situation of being broken, miserable, and unfulfilled is to understand that we will get all the greater things in life when we die and go to heaven. Well, listen, I'm all into going to heaven and so forth, but I'm not into living in hell in order to get there. I believe that you can create your own heaven on earth right now if you learn the proper strategies and apply them. You have the power to create magic in all areas of your life. And I mean it. It doesn't matter. It's business, it's job, it's personal life, whatever it is. You can create that magic in any one areas of your life and all of them. Now, it is your choice though. Just remember that it's not going to be easy. You will most definitely have visits from Murphy's Committee along the way, especially if you decide to enter the jungle. You're going to find out more about Murphy's Committee and how they operate. You will learn how to identify Murphy's Committee member when they pay you a visit, and you will learn how to beat them at their own game and enter the land of paradise. Now, in the land of paradise, you can be what you want to be. You can do what you want to do, and you can have what you want to have, and don't worry about the price tag. You will learn how to develop a thick rhino skin that you could endure the challenges that sure will come your way on your incredible journey through the jungle. Okay, now that you know that on one side of the jungle is the cow pastures, on the other side is the land of paradise, the first course of action is to make a decision to enter the jungle when there is to stay long enough to make it to the other side. Now, Murphy's committee, the main job is to see if they can stop as many people as possible from making it across the jungle. Therefore, once you decide to enter the jungle, you better be prepared for some visits from various council members that exist on Murphy's committee. And this jungle can be the business opportunity you do. This jungle can be the new relationship you got into. This jungle can be your personal life. Whatever it is, it's not going to be easy. You will get some challenges, but I will try and get you prepared for them. You see, all I'm doing right now is preparing you, because I know that many of you have your affirmations prepared. You have your goals and desires and everything written down. You're excited about achieving them. You're excited about your business opportunity. You got your goals written down. But many of you may not be expecting or may not be willing to deal with what Murphy's committee in the jungle has got in store for you. This is why it is important for you to know why you want to achieve what you most desire. Because many people come and many people go, and many people become COJs, casualties of the jungle. Now let me share some of the tactics and some of the tricks that Murphy's committee may pull on you in order to get you exit the jungle. You see, Murphy's number one usually sends your family and friends after you when you first enter the jungle. And they try to tell you to return to the cow pastures where it's safe and secure. They tell you that, look, there's a lot of real jobs in the cow pastures, and they want you out of the dangers of the jungle. They tell you that there is no regular paychecks in the jungle. So you definitely want to make sure you get back to the cow pastures immediately. They tell you of all the poor souls who failed miserably in the jungle. Besides, none of your other family members have made it to the other side, so what makes you think you can? You may as well accept your existence as a cow. After all, you don't have to take as many risks to survive in the cow pastures. This shot from Murphy's number one is enough to make most people return to the cow pastures. After all, they love their family and they do not want to hurt their feelings anyway. And this is what will happen when you talk to a lot of people about this business opportunity. You'll tell them about the fantastic benefits that FM can give to them. You'll tell them about all the great things that business provides. And then as soon as they go home, Murphy number one will be waiting for them there. The dream stealers will be there to talk them out of it, and they will go back to the cow pastures the next day. And that will just happen. There's nothing you can do about it. But because you now know about Murphy number one, you'll be prepared for it. Murphy number two is financial problems. You know, being burnt out, not being able to pay bills, cars repossessed, creditors after you. Now, okay, this might be quite exaggerated, and most of you will not go through these big financial problems. But even things like not being able to pay a bill or some other financial difficulties will get a lot of people to quit the business opportunity, because you don't see money right away in your business opportunity, and go to the traditional job and perhaps get some overtime or get a second job or get a third job on the weekend instead of building the business. So Murphy number one, the financial problems, will get them off the jungle and back into the safe cow pastures before they even know it. Murphy number three is emotions, some of which might be an example of falling in love with a cow. Now, get a job in the cow pastures. That's what a cow will tell you to do. Cows get nervous when rhinos start talking about going into the jungle, about all the exciting things that will happen, you know, in the business world. And cows like to complain about things that gone wrong at work, about not being able to pay the bills. So as soon as they pair up with a rhino in the making, they will try and talk them out of it. But because the rhino might be emotionally attached to this cow, whether it's a second half, it's a wife or a husband or a relative, or, you know, a close friend, they will be emotionally attached to them, and those people will have influence over them, and very often they might get them out of the jungle. because they're young rhinos just in the making. They're not strong, and when these people will talk them about the benefits, in the cow pastures, they will quit the business. Now let's continue with our journey through the jungle. So now several months or even years have passed since you have entered the jungle, since you first started your business opportunity. Now you may look and smell pretty bad by now, you know that. All your family and friends have stayed in the cow pastures are thinking that you have absolutely lost your mind by this time. They just don't understand why would you not come back into security of cow pastures. But you are used to it by now because your skin is thick by now. Now Murphy number 4 will come here. Now you come to a swamp along your way that stinks like hell and there's no way around it. So you have to go through it. And some will have enough by now and just turn around and go back to the cow pastures. Now the swamp will be different things for different people, but you will come across it. I promise you that. Whether it's business, personal relationship, or whatever else is your jungle, you will come across this situation where it all will seem like overwhelming. It will all seem like the end of the world. And this is where most people are struck by the Murphy's Committee. And they just quit it because they just put their hands down and they say, I had enough. I've invested so much time, I've invested so much effort, and this thing now happened, I just can't be bothered anymore, and they just quit. And that's where Murphy will start laughing because they won against you. Now those people who not give up, who go into the swamp, it doesn't matter how bad it stings, it doesn't matter how bad it is, they'll go through that swamp. Now last Murphy number 5 is the doubt. Now when you get to the last point when it's so hard, it is the final effort of Murphy's Committee to make you surrender. And everything that could go wrong goes wrong at those times. This might be someone close to you dying, or you getting divorced, or filing a bankruptcy, or your house being repossessed, or Inland Revenue investigating you, or whatever it is. But the important thing to understand is that this is the time when you're closest to your goal. If you persist at this stage, the Murphy's Committee get tired of messing with you. So very often what I notice is that people quit at the moment where they are closest to reaching their dreams. At the moment when they are just few steps away from achieving higher and higher things. And if you do keep at it, if you do persist no matter what, you will get through it. And now all of a sudden, you find yourself walking in a crystal clear blue water at the beach. It's the most incredible day you've ever seen. The sun is gently bouncing off your skin. The limousine is waiting for you there. As you sit down in the limousine and you start driving the motorway, sitting at the back seat of the limo, sipping your favorite drink, you pass few cows with a sad look coming from them. Now occasionally, one would glance at the limo and you read from the lips as they say, lucky folks. A tear drops down your cheek as you think of where you've been and where you are right now. A phone rings. It's your old friend that had the chance to enter the jungle when you did, but told you that you were crazy and you would never ever make it there. Now you hear a regret in his voice as he says, I wish I had. Now the moral to this whole story and this whole concept of Murphy's Committee is this. Accomplishing your dreams and goals will not be easy, but it will be worth it. There will be many times when you just want to quit and give up. Those are the times when you must keep pressing forward. Sooner or later, Murphy's Committee will get tired of beating you. But until that time comes, you better have some compelling reasons of why you are in the jungle. Because if you don't, then I can guarantee you won't make it. So when those hard things happen, think, why have you started doing this business in the first place? Why do you want to quit your job? Why do you want to become financially independent? Now my wish for you, boys and girls, is that you decide to be a rhino and go through the jungle before it's too late. Don't ask for life to be easy, ask for it to be worthy. And here I have a picture of mine in the jungle. No, guys, I hope you have enjoyed this webinar. I hope you found it useful.